Another good question left on my hoarding video, and one that I've tried to answer now like 10 times, and I'm struggling again to find the words. But essentially, no. No one really tried to do anything to get me away from her, the emotional abuse, or the hoarding. My senior year, that changed a little bit, but I think that's because I was really starting to act out, and I was starting to talk about things to my teachers, and I had family that like worked for the city, and I think people started to get embarrassed. So my senior year, efforts were made to get my mom into a couple of rental homes, which she trashed and destroyed and had to move out of, and I was sent to live with a sibling. But that only happened my senior year, after stuff got really bad, like my mom kicking me out of the car in the middle of the road. The majority of the family knew what was going on in that house, and instead of doing anything to get me out of it, instead of doing anything to make it better, essentially, in a lot of situations, I got blamed for it. My bedroom was obviously a mess. You know, the bedroom where the sewage leaked under the door. And so because my bedroom was a mess, there was one sibling who used to like to tell me, the whole house is your fault. It's your fault. Look, you're disgusting. This is your fault. When my family members were fighting, sometimes someone would occasionally use it against my mom and say like, oh, well, if you don't straighten up, I'm gonna take pictures of this house and have her taken away from you. That got used a lot, but no one ever actually tried to interfere and get me out of that house or away from that woman. Ever. By and large, my teachers ignored it, even by the time I got to my senior year, and I was like crying in class and telling them, I can't go home. I can't go home. I can't live with that woman anymore. She's horrible. My rugby coach, my senior year, got really involved, and he saved my life. The rest of my family ignored it and took every chance they could to make me the villain instead of holding the 40, 50-year-old woman accountable for the mess that her child is living in. So no family really tried to get me out in any kind of real way until I was already basically out of the house and ready to go. That 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old, she lived in that mess, and she thought it was her fault. Narcissistic families.